We're in spring cleaning mode, but it's not just inside the house. How to declutter and spruce up the outside as well. Well, happy Tuesday to you. We continue our spring cleaning series this morning. And you know, it doesn't have to be limited to scrubbing down and organizing what's inside the house. Our yards also could use a little love as well this season. So joining us this morning is Steve Kaiser. He's the owner of Junk King Phoenix and Junk King Surprise. We are talking about decluttering and sprucing up our outside space. Steve, good morning to you. And you know, I feel like with this pandemic, we've all really tried to spruce up our outside spaces because we're spending so much time at home.
Yes, absolutely. And good morning to you too. This last year has really been a time for us to all kind of focus on our own personal spaces. Backyards are a great personal space. And when you have clutter hanging out in the corners of your backyard space, it kind of weighs on you. And when you start clearing out that clutter, it allows you to enjoy your backyard space even more.
Well, I have to tell you, for a lot of us, it's a daunting task. You just look outside the window and you think, oh my gosh, where do I even start? So help us, Steve. Where do we even start?
Yeah, absolutely. The first thing is to look at your backyard space or your patio space and kind of break it down in sections and think about, okay, I'm going to quarter this square up, or I'm going to divide it into thirds. And I'm going to tackle one portion each weekend or one portion each month. And you want to set timetables for yourself too, because that's really helpful. Because what you don't want to do is get overwhelmed with a big job. You start thinking, oh my gosh, I've got so much to do. But really all it starts with picking up that first item, giving us a call. We can recycle or donate usually half of what we pick up. You can also upcycle a lot of things too, which I'd be happy to talk more about as well.
Yeah, let's talk about just that, because when we find things, I mean, maybe it doesn't all fit in the trash can. Maybe, you know, we don't know what to do with it, but there are other uses for things, and it's good to think in that kind of mindset.
Yeah, absolutely. You think about how many ways you can recycle old things, and there's a million ways. So old cinder blocks are a great way to create stacked planters. Ladders can be used in the same way. Creating pots out of items that you already have laying around in the backyard also helps. You know, talking to your neighbors about what they need or what they're trying to get rid of. Being creative is the most important thing. So usually, you know, have a couple friends over and look at all the stuff in the backyard. If you're brave enough to introduce them to the stuff in the backyard and say, let's have an upcycle project and let's see what we can do to kind of make something fun out of this space. Because this is the season to be in the backyard for sure.
You know, one thing I was reading too, some of the tips that you give, you tell people to create piles, if you will, like a keep, donate, and toss. Talk to me about that process.
Yeah, that's a really important step because you need to mentally separate these items first before you can do anything else, right? And so if you have a keep pile, a recycle pile, and then just a pitch pile, it'll make it easier to organize. And it's all about breaking it down into smaller segments. So that's why you want to divide it up into quarters or thirds to start. That's why you want to have 3 different piles. So it's all about segmentation, making the big pile smaller so it's more manageable.
And not as overwhelming and giving us an anxiety attack. Steve, thank you for at least helping us get started. Really appreciate it. I know you guys are on Facebook. I was looking at your Facebook page. You guys have got a lot of good advice there. So Junk King of Phoenix and Surprise. Thank you.
Thank you very much.